Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Trevor Wood of Sleepy Spectre. He's got a fantastic new album out. It is called Chapter One, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. First, I want to thank you so much for being here and taking the time out of your day to do this. Second, I
Yeah,
want to tell you that this album is awesome, and I'm really excited to talk to you all about it.
awesome. Likewise,
Nice. So first off, how are you doing? What's going on in your life?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited. I just finished booking a show that I've got coming up. It's like
Sweet.
a yearly festival my friends and I put on called Chat Fest.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's like a multi-genre like live music festival plus some like local arts. Um
Nice. Is it in
yeah.
Vermont?
Yep, it's at Stone Church in Brattleboro, Vermont.
Sweet.
It's kind of
Okay,
coming up
well,
on August 17th.
oh, that's pretty soon. Oh, that's a month from today.
Yeah, like a month from
Nice.
today. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just worked out
Very
that way.
cool. Have you had the opportunity to play this record live yet? Is that what's going to be
I
happening?
more or less. I did a album release show at the end of May.
Nice.
Um, and for that, I had pretty much all of the features across the album also play sets during the show. And then, so I
Okay,
had a bunch of
cool.
people coming on and off stage for during the set doing different songs. Um, so we did maybe 10 songs from the album.
Okay, that's more than half. That's
Yep.
solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And that turned out
yeah,
pretty well. So,
nice. And honestly, that's one of the main things I want to talk about is like I want people to know that this is a collaboration record. It's not just you. You've got a ton of talent on this thing. Who is everyone? How did it all come together? Like, what does the process even look like for something like this?
man, I think there's like, including like people that worked on art
Oh yeah.
and whatever, like I think there's 25 people involved
Okay.
in
Yeah, that
total.
is significant.
um it started off back in either like really late 2016 or early 2017.
Okay.
So just as I was like finishing up high school. Um i i've been into music production since a little before then. And I used to be I used to play drums as like my main instrument, and I slowly turned into more of a multi instrumentalist as I got
Sure.
curious about guitar and piano
Oh
and
yeah.
things like that. Um, and then I got into music production and like electronic stuff um, along that same time frame. And but I had never really tackled hip hop, and I got into the genre kind of late. I've always been into like Linkin Park since I was really little, so that was like
Same.
probably the starting place where like I was already into metal. Like I listened to Metallica, I think, before Linkin Park, but that's what got me more into hip hop initially. But I didn't really
Yeah.
like expand on like diving deeper and finding other artists until like middle school, high school. Um,
No, I totally
so I
understand that.
yeah.
And I also feel like as a multi-instrumentalist, obviously you're a creative person, and at the same time, it's like you listen to this music that bridges such a gap between two polar opposite genres. I'm not surprised that it's had the impact on you that it has. But it also shows that you wanted to, expand your horizons and try something new too.
Yeah. So I started doing that. Just kind of I didn't really have any serious goals in mind. I just started making some hip hop beats. Um and I ended up putting out like five mostly finished kind of demo songs just on like my SoundCloud, which
Yeah.
I I pretty much only use to post demos and things. I
Yeah.
keep all my finished products or actual releases, but I did that, and I felt like I wanted it to be bigger. And I was listening to like a lot of A Tribe Called Quest at the time,
Nice.
um, and like Jurassic 5 and things like that incorporate more than one person, and it's like a group. So I kind of had that idea going, that I wanted to bring some other people on and just make kind of like a laid back album that feels like you're just jamming with friends. And
Nice.
I don't know,
You
it's
know,
kind of
yeah,
just like
I know.
summertime
That
vibes and
totally comes off too.
Good.
It's funny that, well, it's not really funny. I guess it makes sense. Like, I'm also a huge Tribe fan. When I was listening to this, it absolutely has such a similar flow from song to song.
Oh,
It's hip
thanks.
hop. Yeah, it's hip hop music at its base, of course. I think anyone can realize that. But you can tell that you're having fun. Same as Tribe. Like, it's not like, I don't know if this is the right word, but like hardcore hip hop where it's just like line after line, like just like stereotypical lyricism. Like, you're
Yeah,
having fun, you're telling your stories, and I feel like the passion kind of rubs off on the listener at the same time. So if that's what you were going for, you 100% nailed it. Like, I had it in
that
my
is
notes.
100% what I was going for. So that's good
Nice.
to hear that feedback.
Yeah. And so this record, it runs around 18 songs at just about an hour even. So there's a little bit of something for everyone here. How does it work in terms of the process of actually creating these songs? Like, what comes first for you? Are you a lyrics person? Are you a production person first? Like,
Towards the beginning of making this, I was definitely a production person first. Um, I I never really did much lyric writing until I started doing this, I guess. Um, so yeah, initially I was starting with the music and then coming up with lyrics afterwards.
okay.
But as I got going and just practicing and singing the songs in my car and stuff, and just improving at
Yeah.
rapping technically, I think that I had lyrics on my mind a lot more often. Like a lot of lines here and there, there'll be something I thought of during the day doing something totally unrelated, and I'll like,
Yeah.
oh, got to
That's
put
how it
that in the
happens.
notepad. and
That's how it happens for
and yeah,
sure.
so towards the end I was writing a lot more lyrics that then I was trying to figure out how to make the music to go along with those. So
Sure.
kind of both ends of the process and in the middle.
Right. Were there any speed bumps along the way? Things that you had to overcome, or just like, damn, like, I don't know how to finish this thing up?
Yeah, mainly just in the nature of it being a collaboration record and having so many people.
Yeah.
um that alone, it makes it take longer because you've got to wait for people to send their parts when they happen to have time to do something for you that
Right.
they're just doing out of generosity, and it's not like, you know but I think it's helped by that because with the amount of time that this took, um from 2017 to now,
Right.
it's grown a lot, not just in size but just like conceptually, and my thoughts on the whole thing. Like I definitely didn't have this album as it is now as like the initial vision. It's kind of evolved more like with personal subject matter and lyrics that I didn't really anticipate going into,
Yeah.
or just in it being kind of more of a concept album where there has those like transitions like you mentioned and having
Exactly.
motifs throughout it. None of that was in my initial vision, so that kind of all came together with time, so I'm grateful that it took that
Nice.
long to do it.
And I feel like even, creating something over the course of 7 or 8 years, you change as a person. Like, you have
Absolutely.
probably, yeah, you have learned so much just being in the world, but also like just musically, like the world changes. You experience new influences from whoever you might listen to. And it's just like, some people are like, yeah, I'm going to bang out an album in 6 months. And it's like from this period of my life. 8 years, I mean, the last 8 years have felt like 35 years. So that's like a whole different scenario. But it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a long time to create something. Obviously, I think the final result speaks for itself. But just on your end, like, you become a different person over that time.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like I said, with lyrics involving more personal things, because that wasn't really anything I expected to do from the
Right.
beginning. um and those experiences hadn't happened yet, so those lyrics
Right.
would have been different anyways.
Are there a handful of stories in these songs that you were excited to write about?
um it's weird because I feel like there's so many songs in it where like I didn't have any starting point, and I kind of just wrote. I write a lot of lyrics about not knowing what to write about, because that's a
Sure.
very common.
Yeah.
I guess that's a common speed bump with this record, was just not knowing what to write about to begin
Right.
with. But um,
No, I agree. I think unfortunately, like so many people just don't care about the lyrics. They listen to music for how it makes them feel. So it's just like, you're obviously gonna have that subset that wanna, pick through your music with a fine comb, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, if you're improving or improvising what you're saying, it's gonna go over people's heads, and I think that's totally fine.
yeah, I'm definitely not one for like improving so much as in terms of like freestyle and off the dome stuff like that.
Okay,
There's very little of that from me anyways on this album.
sure.
Um, but I will like write one line and then see if that works, and then write another line, see if that works, and
Sure.
build the song from there as I go. I did that a lot more early on, until, like I said, then I just started writing lyrics first. So
Yeah,
then that didn't happen with those songs. But
makes
um,
sense.
and I ended up going back over the songs that I made the earliest, that like performance wise maybe weren't quite there. So I would re-record some things now that I've gotten better, and so
That
it's
makes
another way
sense.
it just sounds better
It
than it
does.
did at the start.
Listen, you're an artist. I think there's always a baseline level of perfectionism where it's like, this thing could be tweaked. We got to change this thing because at the end of the day, your name's on it and it reflects you. So I get that. Um, Another thing here was okay. Obviously, this record is rooted and based in hip hop, but I find that there's so many other styles and influences that come through. How are you going about labeling it? Like, how are you explaining this to people? Like, this is the thing that I made.
Yeah, I guess so far I haven't like mentioned so much of it being more multi-genre, because I do feel it's more, like you said, rooted in hip hop, but more just like subgenres of hip hop. So I've just kind of just using the umbrella hip hop term to tell people
Sure.
about it. I've been describing it as like a good album to listen to with the windows down on a drive in the
Yes.
summer, and vibe, rather than like
100%.
trying to define what it is in terms of genre.
Right. No, that's a perfect describer. And again, not the first thing, but of many things that I realized when I was listening to this is like, it's just got that like easy breezy laid back feeling about it, very similar to Tribe. Again, like that's the type of music that I listen to when I'm
Yeah.
driving, sitting in traffic, going to the beach, just chilling. Like it's hip hop that just is like enjoyable, and I kind of feel is for the masses but still could have a cult following about it. I know those are like again opposites, but it just works for me. I don't know what it is. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I relate to that, because there's a lot of artists that I feel like I listen to that are kind of that um contradicting thing of being for the masses, and for just like a smaller niche.
Right.
um
Yeah,
but
it
it
is what
works.
it is. This is sort of an obvious question, but maybe it's not. So the record's name is Chapter One. Is there a Chapter Two? Are there any demos or outtakes or anything else that didn't make it that you'd be working on a future or something?
At some point I'm sure there might be a few chapter two. um I do have a couple demos and outtakes that didn't make the cut, and
Sure.
I definitely have more beats that I've just created for the sake of creating, and then I'm like, oh, like that's kind of cool, maybe I should use that.
Oh yeah.
Let me bank that, and maybe that's a future Sleepy Spectre thing. But
Right.
so far I've just been kind of working on promoting this, and putting together live sets for it.
No, absolutely. That's what you should be focusing on. I don't want to pressure you into making more music, although I'm sure I would love it. But I think for someone who's just spent the last 7 or 8 years making one thing, maybe take a step back, enjoy your work for what it is. It's out there, breathe a little bit, and then you can work on the next thing.
The other thing is unrelated to Sleepy Spectre, I'm always working on projects. So I do have
Sure.
lots of music in general, in various states of production. And I've been doing lots of things with totally different styles and whatnot in different bands. So
Okay.
um so
Such
yeah,
as.
that such as I play bass in a punk band called SLOB Drop.
Cool.
Um
Great name.
and then I you can see it over there almost. Future Fable
Okay.
is a duo I have with a friend.
Nice.
It's more like electronic and kind of dark pop, but
Sweet. So you're
um
literally just working on music all the time. It
yeah,
feels
I'm working
like.
on music all the time, so I'll see when I get around to more Sleepy Spectre focused things, but
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm
at
proposing
some point
one
there might be a chapter
huge
two.
collaboration, one massive collaboration with all the groups, all the duos
All right.
for one blowout album.
60
Maybe
years
in
in
the
the
future.
making.
60 years, you're like, all right, this is the final album. There's 650 people on it, and it's 9 hours long. Here you go. There it is. um,
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Besides that upcoming festival that you were talking about, are there any other events or things happening in your life?
In my life, yeah, I've got a bunch of gigs coming up with Slob Drop.
Nice.
Um, as far as Sleepy Spectre, just that show for now, but I'm hoping to do more.
Cool. I have a couple more questions for you. I just
Yeah.
want to know, we just hit the halfway point of this year, which is ridiculous, but what else is going on in terms of this? Is it just going to be promotion? Is it going to be, working on other things or do you kind of just, fly by the seat of your pants?
Well, I do have a music video shoot scheduled in a couple
Nice.
weeks. I'm doing a music video for Flying, and I don't know. I have some. I really like making music videos. I've done a lot with my other group, Future Fable. I did a video for every song on our first
Oh,
album.
damn.
Um, so
That's
I have fun doing that. I probably won't do all 18 tracks for this,
oh
but
my God.
I'm
No.
sure if not a full music video, there will be more in line with visual components coming out as they get made.
Cool. I mean, are all the collaborators close by?
So for the Flying video, everyone in the song is going to be there. Uh, Stresselby, who did the verse and the bridge section, lives maybe like 5 minutes away from me. Like you can
Oh,
walk through the woods
nice.
and get to his house. Um, Kim Chin Gibbons lives in Western Mass, and uh,
Sweet.
I'm right in Brattleboro, so it's like right on the border of Mass and Vermont, so not too
Very
far away.
cool. Honestly, Vermont is a place that I've wanted to visit for so long. Like, I know that it has some of the best breweries in the US, which is pretty cool. So, and just like the nature and outside. So, I will get there one day.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway,
and a lot of the other collaborators on the album were all from Connecticut. Not all of
okay.
them, but a good few of them. Mildly Brown, Mars Hendrick, H God, they're all from over there. So
Sweet. Awesome, man. My last question for you here is it's basically for the person that's going to listen to this record and, for the person that's going to discover you from this, what's an opening message you'd like to say to them before they enjoy it?
um I guess just be ready to have a good time, and I hope you vibe to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's as good as it gets right there. I think it's best to leave it open ended and they can form their own opinions.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been liking the feedback I've been getting here and there, and hearing people's thoughts and hearing things I didn't expect people to catch,
yeah,
or just different perspectives on different songs that I hadn't formed in my own head. So
no, it's always great to get that feedback. I
yeah.
understand. Listen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, but I also want to plug this record before we wrap up here. So, for anyone who didn't know who I'm speaking with, this is Trevor from Sleepy Spectre. The record is called Chapter One. Of course, we'll have the links everywhere. There it is. We'll have the links in our articles that you can listen, share, follow along, and just generally stay tuned for more. I'm excited, man. Whether it's 1 year or 5 years till a follow up, I will be checking the future stuff out. And
I
again, I
appreciate
want to
that.
thank you. I want to thank you so much for your time. This was really great getting to speak with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Have an amazing rest of your day. Hope to talk soon.
Thanks. You too.
See ya. Bye bye.